Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pulse of Entertainment, the only corner of the internet that peels back the velvet drapes and lets the truth breathe. You are tuned into Secrets Behind the Stars, your safe haven for the most daring, nuanced, and addictive stories from the world of fame. Before we step into the eye of today's storm, a tale so charged with longing, choice, and silence that it could be a season finale, I want to welcome our new viewers. If this is your first time here, you picked a pivotal moment. What we are about to explore might redraw the boundaries of friendship and devotion in Turkish showbiz. Make sure you subscribe and tap that bell, because when secrets whisper, we are here to listen. And for those who want exclusive access to deeper dives and behind-the-scenes intel, hit the join button below. Your support lets Secrets Behind the Stars go where others won't. Now breathe in, because this journey turns on a single sentence, a complicated promise, and a silence that rattles the walls of every room it enters. The spark started quietly, in corners where cameras blinked and minds wandered. For years, Alina and Alp Navras have crossed paths with that effortless grace that comes from knowing how to share a set, a laugh, and a mutual respect. To anyone watching from the outside, theirs looked like the kind of professional bond that makes the industry run, late-night script talks, on-set jokes, and that easy rhythm you only build under relentless lights. But if the whispers are even halfway right, something shifted with time. Not a lightning strike. A slow burn. A gravity that drew them closer until the lines between friendly and faded began to blur. Crew members allegedly noticed it first. How the air around them felt warmer, how the space between them kept shrinking. Friends who found themselves in the same rooms began to swap glances, sensing a current that had nothing to do with the day's scenes. It wasn't loud. It was focused, intense, like two frequencies finally syncing. And then came the claim that turned an intriguing rumor into a runaway headline, that in a private, vulnerable moment, Alina looked at Alp and said something that left no room for misreading. The story goes that she confronted the truth many suspected and placed a choice in his hands. Not as innuendo. Not as a joke. The version of the words doing the rounds is piercing in its resolve. Leave your fiancé, and let's be husband and wife. Sit with that. This isn't the wink of a flirtation or the poetry of a long text at midnight. It's a line drawn on the ground. If even a piece of the allegation is real, it suggests a closeness most never saw and a future she could picture so clearly she was willing to disrupt the present to claim it. But here lies the fracture that makes the story ache. Alp Navras is not unattached. His engagement, long understood to be steady and private, stands like a lighthouse in this storm. For Alina to make such a proposition, if indeed she did, isn't merely a declaration of love, it's a collision with a promise already made. And so we need your voice. If you were in Alp's shoes, what would you do with such a confession? Do you believe the heart owes allegiance to truth at any cost? Or does commitment carry a sacred boundary that, once set, must be honored above all else? Tell us in the comments, and if you're drawn to this level of psychological detail, give this video a like. It helps Secrets Behind the Stars reach others who crave the full story. Now return with me to the center of it all. Alp Navras, the man caught between two paths. Those near him describe a man visibly shaken, a person of empathy and composure suddenly thrown off balance. The claim that Alina asked him to choose didn't hit him like drama, it landed like reality. On one hand, the life he has been building with his fiancée. On the other, a connection he may have tried to name as friendship, only to realize that naming it didn't tame it. Conflicting versions of his reaction ripple through the gossip circuit. Some insist he has long shut the door on those feelings and is horrified that the hinges are creaking again. Others say he is simply a private man watching his careful boundaries crumble under curiosity he never invited. He is, reportedly, telling confidants that he is in a rough patch, words that often act as a way of labeling a storm you can't quite predict. The weight is grinding, to be pursued for his craft while his personal life becomes the headline he never wanted. And what of the fiancé? Every story like this has a third voice, even if it never speaks. Sources claim she has felt the unsettling change, the stretch of trust under pressure, the way innocuous photos or friendly interactions suddenly feel like puzzles with missing pieces. Imagine scrolling through speculation that stains your private world. Imagine seeing every look, every casually shared moment between Alina and Alp dissected until even your memories feel questioned. Some say the trust is fraying, some say she's holding the rope with quiet, fierce dignity, and some argue that it's Alp's silence that hurts most, a silence that might be prudence, or might be indecision. And then there is Alina Boz, who is, if reports are accurate, allowing the storm to rage without a word from her. No denials. No clarifications. No playful caption to draw laughter back into the room. In celebrity language, silence is its own statement, a canvas everyone wants to paint on. Fans have started pulling up parts of past interviews and reading them in a new light. This is a woman who has never seemed scared of emotion, who has spoken about sincerity as a value rather than a tactic. Is her quiet a strategy, a way to remove pressure from Alp so he can confront his engagement without eyes watching? Is it dignity in the face of clamor? Or is it, as her defenders suggest, the sound of someone who won't reduce private love to public debate? The ambiguity is driving the narrative more than any tweet could. Before we go further, a quick invitation. Our members-only circle on Secrets Behind the Stars breaks down patterns like these, explores personalities under stress, and looks ahead to what might come next. If you want to join that conversation, and support this channel while you're at it, hit join right now. Back to our detectives, also known as the Internet. The analysis is microscopic. Old clips are revisited with frame-by-frame patience. The way they stand, where their eyes settle, how their hands move when the other is speaking, nothing is spared. DMs and comment threads crackle with philosophies. One camp calls the marriage talk rumor a tabloid invention, insisting friendship has been inflated for clicks. Another camp sees an unmistakable glow, pointing to shared glances at gatherings, to long whispered conversations that seem to push everyone else out of the picture. Witnesses claim there were nights when their focus on each other felt impenetrable, as if the room had politely stepped back. A line credited to Alina among close friends, "Life is brief, and I will follow what makes me feel alive," has become a rallying cry online for those who think she stepped into her truth. But then the behaviors changed. Where there had been easy smiles and casual posts, there is now distance. Both Alina and Alp, we're told, have avoided being photographed together, even at events where they would usually drift into a frame without caring. And that, of course, only stirs more theories. If nothing is wrong, why pull back so sharply? People close to Alp say he wants the spotlight to return to the work, that he feels his artistry shrinking under the weight of rumor. He doesn't want his name to be shorthand for crisis. But the more he slips away, the more insistent the questions become. Reporters who caught him outside a recent venue describe a man polite but shut tight, his words brief and heavy, his voice measured but tired. When pressed, he delivered a short refusal to speak and moved on. It sounded less like defiance and more like a plea to let him breathe. And now, as often happens when a situation swells beyond control, friends have begun to step in. The whispers say mediators are trying to slow things down. Some urge Alp not to detonate his life on the back of gossip. Some, knowing what Alina might feel, are quietly open to the idea that a new story wants to be written. Everyone seems to mean well, but advice can be its own storm, and a storm inside a person is louder than the one on the street. So where are we? On a ridge between outcomes. Will Alp double down on his engagement with renewed clarity, weathering the rumor until it fades? Or did Alina's alleged confession light a match that's already burning away the old blueprint? Every day without a direct denial hardens the myth, until even neutrality sounds like an answer. The public loves a love story, but it also loves a fall. The question is which one this will become. Tell us in the comments who you think moves first. Does Alp speak to the camera and lay it all to rest? Does Alina post a single line that shifts the ground? Or does the fiancé decide that she will not be an unnamed character anymore? Your theories keep this community vibrant, and your engagement truly powers Secrets Behind the Stars. Like this video if you want more of these emotionally tuned investigations, subscribe if you haven't, and hit that bell so you never miss when a whisper becomes a roar. And once more, take a look at the join option to become part of our inner circle. Whatever happens next, this story is about people, not profiles. It's about the stubbornness of feeling, the cost of promises, and the undeniable truth that love is messy even when the lighting is perfect. We'll keep watching, respectfully, until the quiet breaks. Until then, keep your eyes open and your notifications on. This is Secrets Behind the Stars. Thank you for being here. The stage is set. The next move is theirs, and all of us, whether we admit it or not, are waiting for the first word to land like a stone in a still lake.